Okay, welcome back. I haven't done a video in a while, so I am going to do one now. I don't really have much of a topic, to be honest with you. Well, I don't know. It's kind of interesting to me. We'll see. It's a video on honey, and not the female type. No, this is going to be real sweet honey. Honey that you can enjoy without the attitude. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is get my setup going. I have this camera here, and I have this one here. So in the wintertime, my son and I, we eat quite a bit of honey. I mean, not excessively, but we do a lot of tea, and so we'll sometimes put honey in the tea. Not always, but sometimes. Less at night, but more so like during the day, because the sweetness of the honey, the sugar, the sugars and stuff like that can keep you up at night. But anyway, losing my train of thought. Oh, so we have some local honey, and we also have some sticky honey. It's all sticky. I don't know how it ends up getting on the outside of the bottle, but it always does. So let me get started. I'll first start with these two brands. This you can get in your grocery stores. It's nothing, I don't think it's anything really fancy. And of course, I don't know all the details about these honeys, but I do know that they're good. They're the real thing. They're not made with fillers, sugar water, corn syrup, any of that stuff, which unfortunately you will find in some of the cheaper honeys. Again, so this is here. Here they are here. This one is called NorCal for Northern California, obviously, and then this one is Clover, which comes from the clover flower, clover grass. And so I'm just going to take this off and take this off and taste test them. So whether or not these are going to taste much different, I really couldn't tell you. They may or may not. This is the NorCal. Oh. I mean, if you like honey, it's so good. And then this one. Yeah. There's a difference. Now this one, the clover, the clover has typical honey sweetness on the front. And it has that robust flavor stays with it all the way through the end. No real aftertaste. It finishes quickly. It really is. This is your all-purpose, all-around, just delicious honey. Nothing outstanding or extraordinary about it. Raw and unfiltered. This local hive brand Clover honey. And it says Clover Honey Blend. So there you go. It's a blend of different, besides clover, either different clovers or other things are in it. They don't really have to put all the details of what's in here on it. On a lot of labels, when it comes to food, there's just not enough information that's required. It's pretty fresh. It's good till the October 23rd, 25, or at least it says so on the jar of it. It just says honey, U.S. Grade A strained, packed by Rice's Honey and Greeley, Colorado. Localhivehoney.com. Do not give to children under the age of 1 year old. I'm looking for something that, This is an unforgettable, sweet, all-American honey. And, that's true, it is. It's a blend of sweet and smooth, authentic clover honey, balanced with the classic taste of premium 100% honey. Um, that doesn't really make much sense. Clover raw and unfiltered honey is a blend of sweet and smooth, authentic clover honey, balanced with the classic taste of premium 100% U.S. honey. So it's probably adds bulk honey to this, to clover honey. I guess. I don't know why they have it like that, but it's got the typical flavor you would get from honey. I mean, nothing stands out. This one, on the other hand, has a taste. It's hard to describe. It's a little more flowery. It's kind of a light body. It's lighter than the clover honey. It's not as heavy. Almost like honeysuckle in a way. And it just says NorCal honey. And what they have something written in the back here. Medium bodied, premium honey with a smooth, fruity taste. Okay. This honey is made entirely by California bees and beekeepers pollinating in the Golden State, giving it a unique local flavor. Okay. Well, I guess this is somewhat local, but Northern California covers a wide region. So there's those two. These are good basic honeys. Like I said, you can get them at Safeway, probably Lucky's, different stores like that. They're more or less run of the mill, but they're good. I don't think they're very expensive. Now this one my son gets out from Bodega Bay, and he always said it was local. But looking at it here, it's Michael's honey. I'll put it down here. And let me raise this up so you can see it better. Okay. So there you see it. And it's something JE grade A honey. I'm not sure what the first initials are. Then it has Michael's signature, and it says Montana Clover Bees 316, which is maybe a region or something like that, or a certain type of supers that that it's from. But it says Montana Yellow Clover Bees, and it's sold out at Bodega. He goes and gets at Bodega Bay. But it says here, M. Huber, Michael. I guess M stands for Michael Huber, P.O. Box 363, Cobb, California, which is over. I think that's just east of Healdsburg, Cobb Mountain. 95426, so this is not really from Montana bees. It's either the bees are brought here from Montana, or this is from hives in Montana. This is very light. It's good. It's not out of the ordinary. I don't know how much you paid for this, or I paid, I should say. It's light. It doesn't have any real powerful flavors. It is somewhat fruity. Is that fruity or is it flowery? It's more flowery than fruity. It is good. No aftertaste. No strong, overwhelming flavors. Very mild. Big bottle. We used a lot of it. It was almost like it was whipped. It was cloudy in nature and firm. Almost like where I think it starts to get crystallized. Is that kind of what it does? It gets a little crystallized. And then I put it in the microwave and heated it up and got what was on the sides to melt down. And then it turned into this liquid here. That was about 5 or 6 days ago. This is something new I've never tried. This is and I got this from Amazon, but it's a popular brand, and it's called Nate's. Yeah, well, you can see it there, organic. This one is raw and unfiltered. They say unfiltered, and by unfiltered, I'm not sure what they mean, because when they get it out of the hive, they have to get it out of the honeycomb or separate from the honeycomb. And I believe they use centrifugal winders or spinners to get that honey out of there. And then after that, I guess it just drains. It would seem to me that some of the honeycomb material would break off and get in the honey. So if they filter some of those chunks out, it has been filtered. Has it been filtered finely? No, I guess not. But imagine how long it'd take to go through a real fine mesh filter. But it is filtered if there's no debris in there, right? I mean, I would assume it would have to be. So I'm going to use these so I don't keep contaminating, even though we're the only ones that eat the honey. Wow. Now this one has a strong defining flavor. Let me have some more. This one's yeah. This one's making more of a statement. This is more. This tastes like more of like this honey, clover, but more concentrated. And then let's see the color. It's darker. It's definitely a different color. But it's different from that. It's more robust. It has it just has more of an intense flavor. Does it lean towards anything I could actually name? No, not really. I mean, it's hard to, with honeys. Sometimes it's difficult to. You can taste honeys and taste different honeys and taste differences, but describing those differences is difficult for me. Just like I couldn't describe different wines as well. I mean, I could taste the differences in wines and stuff like that, but I can't like articulate them very well. Anyway, let's see what's on here. Organic honey packed for Nature Nates. Nature Nates. I always thought it was Nates, but it's Nature Nates. BPA free, gluten free. They have some stuff written here. It's all going to be stuff saying how great their product is. He's thanking God for allowing them to serve us and our family. I don't know, if he was being allowed or he just decided to go into honey business on his own. I think he just decided to go into honey business. I don't think he was being allowed. Don't feed honey to babies, again, 1 year or younger. You can gently warm it for pourability. Store at room temperature, slow natural process of crystallization, which does happen to honey. Sometimes crystallization is a good thing. Sometimes when it crystallizes, it tastes kind of cool, But they're not even describing the taste. So how can I? It's just kind of like a regular honey in a sense, but very, very strong taste. A deep, intense, typical honey taste with no off-putting flavors, no outside flavors that you could say that is unique to it or different from most other honeys. But it is good. I do like it. I like it a lot. I like it better than this one because it's a stronger taste, and this is a lighter taste. So I like the flavor. Honey is a great sweetener. But beyond sweetener, I want actually flavor with the honey. I want to taste the flavor of honey. And this is one of those that will provide that. Where some of the lighter ones are just providing just some sweetness and not giving you any real flavors or strong flavors. So now moving to this, I haven't even tried these. We opened them and my son tried them. I sent away for these. These are out of Tennessee. True Beet comes in this package here, and they're whipped honeys. So they whip it. By whipping it, I'm assuming that what they do is they put air into it, and what flavors do we have here? So this is these are not the same. They're different. Let me see what. Shouldn't it say on here what they are? Oh, it's a whipped sampler. Okay, so you have the Tennessee Snow. Well, you didn't tell. I guess you have to look where they were sitting in the box because it's not on the label. And then the lavender and the cinnamon. So let's see if we can tell what's what. So here's this one. And I'm going to think this is Tennessee Snow. Simply because this one is a little darker. And then this one's darker, yet again, darker than that. Much darker than that. So I'm going to say Tennessee Snow would be the one that is light, snowy colored. You know, when it's whipped, it's got air in it. And so it's going to be less intense. But I've had whipped before and it's more fluffy and softer. This one's kind of settled and dense, as you can see. But it doesn't have a lot of flavor. It's not off-putting. It's just so mild. I'm not impressed. I'm not picking up anything that makes me like excited about it. So I'm just going to put it over here. Now let's try this one. Maybe this one's going to be a little different. I'm going to try this one. This one, I can bet you that it's got the cinnamon in it because I can see the cinnamon. And, you know, cinnamon doesn't mix well with other ingredients. So it's always has a film or stays like that. Part of it always stays unmixed, it seems like, no matter what you put it in. Now, well, yeah. This has a lot more flavor. Oh, not only the cinnamon, but just the deep, rich honey flavor. Excuse me. This one is good. I'm impressed with this one. There's not much of it, but I like this one. I like this one a lot. Yeah, I'm a fan of this one for sure. You know, by turning it a certain way here, I can kind of get it to know where it was on the label. There you go. Now, we got the last one. And did I close this properly? No. There. And then this one. And this has got to be the last one. This is going to be the lavender. Though this will be interesting. The lavender. I like lavender. Oh. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, that's great. It's probably lavender oil that's added to this. Oh. Oh man, that's a winner. Now, you don't taste that every day. That is good. That is really good. Big fan of that. So the regular Tennessee whipped, I think it just starts off as a creamed honey. And then the lavender is they added lavender extract, which you can buy. I was almost going to look at the computer screen as the monitor, um, as the camera. You can buy lavender extract and put it in your own, and any one of these honeys, and get that flavor. It adds a floral note, creates interest on a cheese board. So the Tennessee Snow Original whipped or creamed honey is pure honey that's been whipped to a spreadable texture. Okay. And then the cinnamon warms up the sweet honey taste and livens up coffee or peanut butter sandwiches. Yeah, I mean, Tennessee honey. I like the lavender. That gives me a good idea for buying some lavender extract and doing that on my own, which I will do. Now these come in this packaging here. I should have showed you. Why, I don't know. Why didn't I show you the packaging? That's okay. So it comes like this. These are from New Zealand. And let me pull them out. You have these here, which is Kanuka, Autumn Gold, and I think this is Kamahi. And then you have Honeydew, Manuka, and Native Bush. You've gone native on me on this one. You've gone native. Okay, so these have been opened too. I think my son tried them. I'm going to try with the first one. I'm going to try. These look good. Is a Native Bush. Yeah, let's see what the Native Bush has. Interesting name. That's, ooh, look at that. Kind of has a texture of a Native Bush. Ooh. Ooh. That's different. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that Native Bush. Might be too much bush in there. Our bees forage in the natural wildness of the Marlborough Sounds and Mount Richmond Forest Park. This is good till July 26th. They give you the batch number and the lot number. Right there. Can you see that? Let me see. Hold it there. So this one has I want to say it's almost like a spearmint taste. Let me taste it again. No. There's a slight bitterness to it. It's interesting. I don't know if they're adding something to this. It doesn't say that they are. Or if it's just what the bees have gotten the pollen from. I mean, it just says Native Bush. The natural wilderness. Interesting. Very interesting. Is it bad? No. Is it... these are plastic too. Is it the best honey I've ever tried? Nah, not really. It's different. It's not bad, but let's see what else they have to offer, because there's 6 of them here. And the Native Bush is just, now this one's a little smoother texture. Oh yeah, this one is just, oh wow. Oh, that really smells like nature. Oh, look at this. This is going to be good. Wow. Now that has almost a hint of the native bush flavor, but much sweeter, much softer, more round. Beach honeydew. Ooh, don't spill it. Beach honeydew. Any information? Our bees forage in the national wilderness. These bees forage in the national wilderness of the Buller region of the South Island. And of course, you could look that up. This is all New Zealand. So I don't know what that means because I'm not from New Zealand. I've never been. But so they're all different wilderness areas is where they're putting the bee supers, and the bees are allowed to forage for honey. Take this off. Now here's the manuka. Now manuka is supposed to have some type of healthy properties to it. I don't remember what that is. I used to buy manuka, just kind of thinking it was something great, but you know, I don't anymore. It's expensive. I know it's expensive as opposed to other honeys. It has an MGO rating of 83 plus. That's how they measure the amount of manuka in here. And again, I don't really know what I'm talking about. This is almost partially crystally. Not as smooth, but in between what those two were. This is manuka for sure. I can taste it. And manuka has a bitter taste. And manuka is certified to contain at least 83 milligrams per kilogram of methylglycol. I can't say it. Here, you read it. What is that? Methylglycol. How do you say that? They're making me sound like an idiot. That's not hard to do. Okay, so this is pretty good. A little bitter. I'm finding out that these honeys are not as sweet. Those three weren't. So let's give these a go and see what these can do, or what they have. Again, so far so good though. I mean, they're all good honeys. I mean, all of them. So we have the Autumn Gold, and then the Kanuka and Kamahi. So let's try the Autumn Gold. And this is from the Buller region, which is where the beechwood honey was. And what region, did it say what region? Oh, the Manuka is from the pristine marble region. Okay, let's see what the Buller region has. Now this is pretty smooth, some little fine crystals in it. This tastes very similar to clover honey. Very similar to the clover honey. Almost like a cross between the clover honey and the NorCal. That's not bad. I'm finding that these honeys from New Zealand, they're less sweet. They're all less sweet, which is a good thing, because honey's so sweet to begin with. So far, out of the three, this is fourth one I tried. I think I like that one the best. I do. I think I like that one the best. Of this brand. Now this one is the Kanuka. Okay, I have a new favorite, this one. And this is from the pristine wilderness of the Marlborough region. That's good. That kind of reminds me of Nate's, but it's milder. All these honeys have extremely short finishes. The Kanuka is my new favorite of these. And then lastly, we have these are from the Marble Sounds and Mount Richmond Forest Park. And this is the Kamahi. So let's give this one a go. You can see here, it's solidified on the top, crystallized a little bit, well, quite a bit. Oh, this is even better. Oh, like, you know what? That's good. This is my new favorite. So these last three here, the Kamahi, these last three are game changers. So these three are the best ones out of the six. These are more bitter, these here, but they're good. But these other ones, they're just more, they taste a little bit more like traditional honeys. Okay, so we're winding down. We got three left. So we have, now I've just recently discovered these, and I'll tell you what, these are my favorite honeys so far of all time. There, I'm going to say it. These are unbelievable. Now, these are made from buckwheat plants or buckwheat grass. The same buckwheat that they use to make buckwheat flour for, your buckwheat pancakes if you eat pancakes. So let's try this. All right, now we're getting into the big leagues now. Oh, this is smooth. Look at that, glassy. Oh, the flavor of this honey. It makes me want to make a cup of tea right now. This is sensational. It has a deep, a buttery texture. It's got a very fruity taste, but it's got that unknown quantity to it, that taste that you've never tasted before in honey, but it's not overpowering. But you know you're tasting something different. Oh, it's just so good. I mean, it's a deep, rich flavor. It's kind of a dark flavor, like brown sugar. No use of antibiotics, 100% pure, dark, unpasteurized. Now, this is my second jar. And ironically, this jar the honey is much lighter than the first jar I got. The first jar was dark. This kind of dark, if not darker, of the first bottle of this that I received, which just was only like a month and a half ago. I like it so much that we used it all up right away, and then I got more. And this is still good. It's delicious, but it's not as dark and deep flavored as the first batch. And you know, Canada's coming off one of the worst years they've had for honey. Their bee count was down. The weather was just horrific. Apparently, it didn't get cold enough in the winter or something, which affected the agriculture, which in turn affected the insects and the bees and everything and the flowers and whatnot. You know, the ecosystems are complicated, but there's some YouTube videos even on it where it just they didn't have a good season. The supplies are down, costs are up, and these are Canadian. And this is Miel, M-I-E-L, Brut, and I guess it's in this is in French. Brut de Saracen du Nord Canadian. I probably butchered that. I'm sure I did. This is just absolutely delicious. And like I said, the first bottle I got was even more so. They make this, as far as I know, they have two. They have this one and they have a blonde one. I haven't tried the blonde one because I seem to lean more towards the heavier flavored ones. I mean, I'd be interested to try it, but these aren't very cheap. But that's just delicious. And this one says it's good till July 28th. July 2028. The 4th of July 2028. So it's 4 years from now. More than that. And then there's this raw unfiltered. So when I got this one, it's buckwheat. It's right. I mentioned that. It's from buckwheat. And so that turned me on to buckwheat, especially like I said, after I got the first jar, it was so dark and rich that I'm like, I got to try some other brands with buckwheat. Well, here's another one. This is buckwheat blossom honey. I've got this off of Amazon. And this one is no slouch. Honey's always hard to open because it gets so sticky. All right, so here's this. You can see it's fairly solid. Oh. This is this. Oh. This is the strongest, most intense honey I have ever tried in my entire life. I can't. Oh my God. From Pennsylvania. I thought this was from Canada. TheBeekeepersDaughter.com is where you'll find this. There's even the phone numbers on the front. 40 ounces. This was a pretty good price. This tastes like deep, dark molasses. That's what I'm getting out of this. Just the one label on the front, very simple. This is incredible. If you haven't tried buckwheat honey, you don't know what you're missing. This is like sorghum on steroids, if you know what sorghum is. That's derived from a plant. And that has a deep, rich flavor. Very unique. But this is kind of like that, but I would have to say it mimics molasses more. That is sensational. So now we're down to my concoction. I took a neutral honey, a couple of different honeys, much like this kind. I don't think it was this brand, but it was something with the same taste profile. There was 2 jars I had. One was nearly full, one was almost empty, and I used them, put them in a pot. Oh, the espresso and the chocolate, it just punches you in the face. Look at this. Whoops. Look at that. Now, this is going to be something else. So, and I cooked this under low heat. Oh my God. And I got it just perfect. It's not too much chocolate. It's not too much coffee. It's chunky. I can still taste bits of chocolate in there. Almost like melted chocolate. The Mexican chocolate, the Arbuelo that you buy, I put that in here. Now that's really sweet. A lot of sugar in it. But it's that deep Mexican chocolate with a really robust chocolatey flavor that has that Mexican unique chocolate flavor to it. Some of my favorite chocolate. I didn't use much of it in here because it can overwhelm whatever you put it in. And then the espresso I put in just a little, and I tasted just a little bit, and I tasted. I didn't go overboard. And then once I put the chocolate in, it's a solid chocolate. So I heated up the honey, which thins it, makes it thin. And then once I put the chocolate in there, because I've used it before, whatever it tends to turn anything into either a semi-solid, almost like a solid, but like a semi-solid, because the chocolate itself is in its natural state is hard. And so when you put that in there, even though I just used a little triangle of it, I had to add something that was more liquid again, so I would have a product that flowed. I didn't want to have a real stiff product because I made it before and it was real stiff. Oh my God. I'm definitely going to have some tea. So I started with the honey. I added a little bit of the chocolate, melted it. I may have added some butter to it. I think I added a couple little cuts of butter, maybe 1.5 tablespoons of butter. I added just a touch of almond milk. Not much, just a little bit. I don't think I put anything else in there other than that. I don't know if I put any baking spices, and I don't think I did. I don't remember now, but sometimes I'll put a little bit of baking spices in there. And I have a jar of baking spices, which is nutmeg, allspice, clove, and what else is it? 3 or 4 different things. There's a 4th ingredient in there. It always escapes me when I put it in there. And then I mix that together, and then I call that cinnamon, and then something else as well. And those are my baking spice jar. Like if I'm making an apple pie, it's already pre-mixed that I put it in. Sometimes I'll add a little bit of Ghirardelli powdered chocolate to it, just a little bit, not much. You can easily overdo it. You want a strong sense of the honey, and if you like me, you definitely want to taste the espresso. The other thing you want to taste in here is you want to taste the cinnamon. There's cinnamon in here, and I taste that. I don't want one flavor to necessarily overpower it. I want to be able to take a taste of it and say, this is what I can pick out. I can pick out all those different flavors in there. Like if there's 4 different things right off the bat, I can tell you that, or 5 different things I can tell you that are in there. And you don't have to be an expert. You can say, oh yeah, it's honey. I taste the cinnamon. Oh, it's definitely chocolate. Oh, there's coffee in there. I can taste the coffee. You know, the maple syrup and like a little bit of almond milk, whatnot. The butter. I mean, you're not going to really pick that up, but it's delicious. It's absolutely delicious. So make your own. Take some of these blander like these honeys like this. You can. These are great, but when you have a lot of different ones, like okay, like for instance, I have this, and this is a stronger flavor than these. So I would leave this alone and have it as my regular honey, and then these regular honeys. There's nothing outstanding about them. They're good, but there's nothing where I go, oh my god, this is incredible. Not like these or this or this or this, where you're beside yourself when you taste it. These are just like, oh yeah, that's traditional honey. So you could take these, which are fairly inexpensive, and you can use them to create a jar of a custom blend. So there you have it. I wanted to do the video on this. I got the video done. What I don't have right now is sorghum, and it's because I have so many teas, but I normally have sorghum around. And I'll mix things into that as well. If you haven't tried sorghum, you should. It has a low glycemic index to it. It has a very unique, powerful flavor to it that you're probably just going to fall in love with. I'm sure you've heard of it, and for me, it was always a mystery. Like sorghum. What is it? I just knew it was some kind of plant, and then I tried it. And once I tried it, I did a lot of research on it after that. Like find out what is this, and I've been missing out. So I'm starting to work out again, so I'm going to be cutting back on a lot of this stuff. Going into summer, I'm going to be knocking off sugars, and honey's going to be one of the things I knock off. I like them in the dead of winter when it's really cold, and you want to have, you just want to have like a hot cup of tea and just sit back and just, be in a quiet room and just kind of be lost in your own thoughts, especially late at night. Anyway, going to be getting busy real soon. I got a job starting in about a week and a half, and it's pretty substantial. So, going to keep me occupied, especially in the beginning when it's critical. So we'll see how that goes. I just got off the phone with the engineer again today, and I talked to the homeowner for quite a bit after that, and we're still trying to get the color worked out. It's a home that was built by a family member of Frank Lloyd Wright, and it has a historic significance and whatnot. So yeah, I'm going to be starting that, and I'm excited for it because it's a good project. It's going to be interesting. Haven't worked substantially in quite a while. It's going to be good for me physically, mentally, and just to get the bills caught up as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm happy for that, and hopefully that job will go well. And then I can start working on my minimalist life, which I'm going to start working towards this year, which is going to be my big goal in the future, is getting rid of all my junk that I think I'm attached to, and playing out my later years, being more in touch with what's going on in the moment, and not worried about what do I have, and all the different toys and possessions and things that just don't really define who I am at all. I mean, it's I guess once you have stuff, and then you get over it. If you don't have it, you have a longing for it. You're like, oh, what, that looks cool. I'd like to try that. Like I said, was it that Jim Carrey said he wishes that everybody could be rich and famous, so you would discover that being rich and famous is not the answer to all your problems, nor is it the key to happiness. I'm happier now than at many parts of my life. I never really stopped to think about if I was happy or not in a long. When I was really sad in my life, I would always ponder those questions. But when things were just kind of going along, I never really stopped to ask myself, "Am I really happy?" And there were probably a lot of times where I thought I was, but I really wasn't. But do you have to be happy all the time? No, I guess you don't. You can't. But I think what it boils down to: are you doing the things that you want to do, or are you just living your life and doing the things that you have to do? A lot of the things that I do are things that I have to do, and I've been doing a lot of things that I have to do for a good portion of my life. And I don't want to live the rest of my life or my whole entire life on doing things that I have to do. I want to live a portion of my life on doing things that I just simply want to do. And I have done some of that. I mean, I'm not complaining that I have never done it, but I want to do more of it. While at the same time, I don't want to neglect my family or abandon my responsibilities or make other people suffer just for my own selfish fulfillment. Because then I can't get fulfilled being selfish. I don't know how people can do it. I see people do it all the time. Just pop in here and there and just act like they care and check in, but they don't really ever do anything that counts. They just pretend. They're kind of like family members, like some of your Facebook friends or some of your acquaintances. You call them your friends, you call them this or that, but or people that you might work with. But if you were down and out and you needed something, and they weren't there, they're not your friend. If you can't deal with helping your loved ones, your family, then you're a shitty person. You're just a shitty person. I mean, that's probably not a good way to say it, but it's true. You're not a good person. You're a superficial person, and I see plenty of that. And I'm not that way at all. And it could be a struggle at times to be someone that people can rely on. It is a struggle, but I would take it any day over being a shallow, self-serving individual. I just can't do it. My conscience won't let me do it. At the same time, I want to keep my mental health, but I just can't turn my back on the people that count in my life. I couldn't turn my back on people that really need me, and then feel good about myself and just go on my merry way, and expect to find any kind of contentment. But it's done. I see it being done a lot here and there. I've seen it being done in life. But all of us don't have the same type of conscience, and people can come up with all kinds of excuses, and they can actually start believing those excuses, or they have to believe them. If they don't believe them, then maybe they can't live with themselves. But I can't come up with fake excuses. I have to be honest with myself. I just cannot. My conscience won't let me fool myself. I can't trick myself. I can't say, well, no, I can't help you, or I can't do this because. And then what do you come up with? That's when when you say the because, and then your mind's racing like because of it, and then you have to come up with some kind of BS story. But they call me, you know why? Because I'm there. I'm going to help. I'm going to do what I can. And that's to me, that's about the best a human being can be. And it has nothing to do with religion or any kind of faith. I mean, some of the biggest churchgoers and so-called Christians wouldn't lift a finger to help anybody, honestly, if they were really in trouble. I mean, they'd be more judgmental. I'd help them, but they got a problem, or they need to do this and that, or they need to stand up for themselves, or they need to take personal responsibility. There's always going to be some excuse. You know, they need to talk to Jesus. You know, give me a break. Or lately, what people talk about, you know, well, the end of the world's coming anyway. Really? The end of the world's coming. The end of the world is never coming. Now, the end of the world may come for humans. Yeah, that's a distinct possibility. But the end of the world, as the world is with or without us, that ain't coming to an end anytime soon. This world is going to be here a long time after we're gone. So if you just keep thinking that, you know, Armageddon's coming, you're fooling yourself, or you're using it as an excuse. I mean, come on, get real. Anyway, sorry about the preaching. Ironic preaching, get it? I'm gonna go now, and we'll see if I keep it in or edit it out.